Spray Paint Simulator was released at the end of May of this year for PC and console, with it being a day one release on Xbox through Game Pass. If you're looking to pick it up, it retails for 15 US dollars. So, is Spray Paint Simulator worth playing on console? This review is going to answer that question. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscriptions by the end of this year. The first thing you're going to think when you see Spray Paint Simulator is that it looks just like Power Wash Simulator. I absolutely love that game. It scratched that itch of satisfying my OCD and seeing the stunning difference when you're presented with the before and after images. Unfortunately, Spray Paint Simulator doesn't do the same. It never reaches the same level, despite being an almost clone of Power Wash Simulator. But before we get into all that, let's discuss the technicals. Spray Paint Simulator is buggy and janky. The FPS is smooth, but the movement, controls, UI, and pretty much everything else is just not designed for console. You can't back out of the menu by pressing the B or circle buttons. No, you have to manually go over to select continue. The game also doesn't save when you're in the middle of a job, so if the game crashes or you exit it, you lose all your progress. And some of the jobs in this game can take hours to complete, meaning most people will just stop playing if that happens to them. The controls are just not good on controller. You can't be very precise when picking up an item or aiming your spray gun. Moving on to graphics, they are alright. It's a simulation game, so everything takes place in a very small area that you can't leave. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's discuss the gameplay. Why isn't Spray Paint Simulator very good? It basically comes down to it being frustrating to play. The game only has a few levels, with some being really good for what it wants to achieve, and others being the worst levels you can think of for this sort of game. The first job is to paint a car. You use tape and paper to mask the lights and windows before painting it this brilliant orange color. It looks great and it's fun. It takes about 15 minutes and it's all good. The second job, however, is when the cracks start to show. You have to paint a kitchen. You mask the counters and the walls by picking up the tape and paper and just pressing the A button or the X button on the walls. That's it. Then you select the required paint and just start blasting. But the way cabinets are in a kitchen, there's a lot of tight spaces and nooks and crannies that you just can't reach. And the game doesn't help you much aside from letting you know that you missed something by highlighting it for you with a button press. So you end up just going over the same places over and over again, trying to find these little small spaces between the cabinets that you missed. After that, it's back to the fun stuff. This time you paint a bus 3 different bright, colorful colors. You have to mask multiple times as you paint one section one color, then another in a different one. It's fun and exactly what you should be doing in this sort of game. But then you get to the art studio job, and this is where the torture begins. It has huge walls that need to be painted, it takes forever, and it's just not very interesting. You cover one wall, paint it, then move on to the next. It's about bulk and not intricacy. There's also a part that's way up high, meaning you have to use your ladder to get to it. But the ladders suck in this game. It's like they designed the ladders to either not reach the places you need to go, or to just be too big for the space. There's never really a perfect fit. After that, you reach the bridge job, and this is where I think 95% of people will just turn the game off. This job takes hours and hours to paint this bridge. It's massive, it has high parts and low parts that are just hard to reach, and other areas that are blocked off by railing on the side that you need to try and jam your spray gun down there to get at. It's pure torture, and I doubt a single person will find it fun. It's at this point that I turned the game off for the night. After painting for a few hours, I turned the game back on, and then I found that all my progress didn't save. Screw this game for not saving mid-job. There are attachments you can get to your spray gun along with multiple spray gun types, but they all aren't very much different from each other. One attachment sprays a bit more, but drinks paint like crazy. Look, this game had potential, but there are way too many odd choices in design and level choices to make it fun. It also has no creativity for the player. You can't just pick the paints that you want to use, they are all set by the job. So if you want to paint the car pink, that's too bad, it has to be orange. It makes sense, and there is a free paint mode where you can just go wild and paint whatever you want, but it does feel like a missed opportunity here. Let's go into the pros and cons of Spray Paint Simulator. For the pros, it's a day one Game Pass release, and it's only $15 US to purchase. It runs fairly well, and some of the jobs are really fun, like the car and the bus jobs. But for the cons, the game doesn't save mid-job. I hated the bridge and the kitchen jobs. They're pure torture. The ladders, the scaffolding, and the cherry picker are terrible to use. And that's it for another review. So, is Spray Paint Simulator worth playing? The answer is no, it's not. You should skip this one and just play Power Wash Simulator again. Thanks for watching. I'm the Casual Console Gamer on YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next review.